Hey, what's up, y'all? It's G about to react to this vid by Omezia's title. Sneako's friends are finally done with him. Oh, finally. All right. I wonder what the breaking point was, but let's see what happened. Let's watch.
You know, I was looking for something interesting to watch this weekend, and I remembered Aiden Ross' brand risk boxing event. Although I don't condone some of the nonsensory that goes on, I do sometimes like to see people get beat up. But as I was looking through the crowd, there was a face that I could not see. All of Aiden Ross's besties were in the audience except for one guy. When I went to Twitter to find out what happened, I couldn't help but smile.
And then be so ignorant to what, hey, well, brand risk is tomorrow. I can't go, Dick.
Oh my God.
You stupid idiot. I was not allowed in the last brand risk. Brand risk tomorrow. You going? Oh my God, bro.
Oh, he's triggered about it. He don't like that he can't get in. This is not a good response, brother. I would have been like, I don't give a fuck about that. I wouldn't have even addressed it. Never let him see you sweat. You letting us know that you are upset that you couldn't be a part of it.
This is it, and it's fine. I'm not upset about it.
Yes,
Wait a minute. You're telling me Sneako got banned?
Again!
And this time from a brand risk event. This is an event that's known to be edgy and be risky. This is what now, 5 bans from 5 different entities and institutions.
Damn.
And it's all because of Sneako's dumbass background. This is amazing, and we've got to talk about it. If you're new to this and you haven't already,
Australia banned him
and not joining the community, I'm gonna hit y'all with that Sneako ban if you don't come through with the come through. Now, back into the video. For those people that are unfamiliar, brand risk isn't some sort of mainstreamed event. It's not Twitch, who has a lot of corporate sponsors. It's not the UFC, who has a big mainstream backing. And it's certainly not the continent of Australia.
Roger, you're not upset that your girl, Princess Love, would let Mayweather have 10 girlfriends, but be mad when you try to somebody else? I don't think that's fair.
Hey,
you gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta
It's raunchy, it's wild, it's edgy, it is right up Sneako's free speech alley. And plus, because of the last confrontation they had, I would believe that Aiden Ross and Sneako would be friends.
Guys, listen, I speak to Sneako every single day, and I said how it is, bro. Look, you can say what you want about me, bro. Sneako's one of my bestest friends, bro. He had my back when nobody else did. He's a real friend of mine, and just because I'm back and where I'm doing, I will still platform my brother Sneako. That's my bro, okay?
Gideon did say Aiden is fake, so there may be some truth to that. Because how you go from this to, and obviously things happen. I've had, good friends that I'm no longer cool with, but like he's really going hard for him. This is my best friend. We talk every single day.
He's doing really well too. He's leaving that side of the community. He's trying to become better. And Sneako, I'm never gonna switch up on him, bro. Like I'm sorry, guys. That's just somebody that is my best friend, and I'll never ever stop him. Sorry, guys.
That's why I was shocked when Sneako said that he couldn't go to an event that he was banned from, and the event was brand risk. This is supposed to be a place in a space where Sneako thrives, but he can't even get into anymore. And I think that that's opening up the eyes of Sneako and any of the supporters that thought that, like, yo, as long as I got my boys, as long as I got this crowd of people with me, I'll be good. But that's no longer the case. Even these types of people are understanding the risks in the brand that Sneako is. When your own lane starts to treat you like a liability, that's a different level of rejection. When Twitch bans Sneako, he can blame the platform. But when brand risk bans Sneako, now he has to ask why his own world is closing the door to him. And it makes it even worse because brand risk has already shown that they are willing to let Sneako-esque type people in. Look at this flyer. Look at the names that are on this flyer. These are literally people in which if I inserted Sneako right next to them, he wouldn't look like that one meme of the clown standing in the group of the army people. He would literally blend in. They literally bring some of the most divisive people onto the platform. Hell, I even saw Gypsy Crusader at one of the brand risk events back in March.
And the winner by split decision out of the red corner, Gypsy
So it definitely can't be anything about anti-Semitism. I've seen brand risk have Charleston White and the Island Boys.
I'm gonna kick this bitch ass. You ain't ready to fight, nigga. You ain't ready to fight. You let a man walk up on you and do you like that. See you in the ring tomorrow, bitch. I don't want to talk to you.
So it definitely can't be anything about racism or doing nasty things with your family.
Charleston White's so fake. When it comes to anybody else, he's talking about calling the police. He's scared and oh no, I don't want no parts of that. But when it's the little, weirdos, now you all big and bad.
Because stuff that's on the Island Boys is actually kind of wild. We should probably do a video on it. Those boys are disgusting. And it doesn't even have anything to do with being a bad parent because an invitation was extended to Wendy Ortiz. Now, she would ultimately turn it down, but still, Wendy Ortiz was invited to the event.
No, guys, I'm not going to Brand Risk. Sorry. I'm not going to Brand Risk. It's Aiden Ross. I'm sorry. Ooh. The only thing that was convincing me to go was that Drake was going to be there.
Girl, clean your damn room. You focus on the wrong things. This is crazy.
I was double thinking. I was like, am I really gonna, like, it's like my morals or meeting Drake? And I'm gonna meet Drake. I'm just kidding. No, I just didn't want to go because Aiden Ross is talking shit about.
Sean Strickland, Neon, Aiden Ross himself, academics. The brand of Brand Risk isn't afraid of controversy. And that's not why Sneako didn't get invited to the event. They've had people who I would probably objectively say are more controversial than Sneako at the appearance. But even if, let's say he was on par with the Gypsy Crusader or any of the other controversial streamers and content creators that they've had, I would at least think that he would get a little bump in a pass because this is a non-corporate event, one. And two, this is his good buddy Aiden Ross. Brand Risk is literally the event for people who are risky to the brand. And if Sneako can't make the cut because he's still too much of a brand risk, then I don't know. But you can understand that you'll look at Sneako's most recent controversies and you'll see that they're not just some random drama. Even those events start looking like reasons as to why his own side would turn against him. Just 7 days ago from the time of recording this video, I uploaded a video speaking to Sneako and the controversies that he had finally catching up to. In about a week's time, Sneako had been banned from the continent of Australia. He had been banned from the UFC. In about a week's time, Sneako had been banned from...
Sneako known for producing anti-Semitic racist content will be part of the Ministry of Culture. Okay, that's why they banned him? So he can't visit Australia ever?
The continent of Australia. He had been banned from the UFC and...
Oh, the whole continent.
He had been banned from Twitch. At least his last attempt at being reinstated had been denied. And at the end of the video, I had mentioned some things about how, Sneako is trying to escape this past, and he's doing these things to quote-unquote right his wrongs, maybe distance himself from all these communities, etc., etc. But every time a door is open for him to say something stupid, step out there off the ledge, be controversial, make fun of somebody, whatever it may be, simply just being on the wrong side of history, Sneako is going to take it. And every time he takes it, all of the stuff about him changing is thrown out the window. These brands that would want to believe that Sneako has changed see this instant moment where he says, I don't know, Chud the Builder's right, these black people are wrong and they're chimping out, all this other stuff like that, in his telling as to why he still supports what Chud the Builder is doing from the free speech perspective. All that shows brands is that, this old him is still who he really is. But the problem is much bigger than these entities not platforming Sneako. You don't have a right to be on Twitch. Twitch is like a privilege type thing. And it's even a luxury considering there are so many other options when it comes to streaming games. But Sneako can even acknowledge that some of these bans and some of these punishments and the way that he's being viewed in public are starting to feel like he's a criminal. It's starting to feel bigger than just something that's happening on the internet.
People like me, I've never been convicted of a crime. I've never hurt anybody, but yet I'm treated like a criminal, right? I have problems, allegedly, in my opinion, traveling or being able to return back to the country. So many of these restaurants I can't eat at, and these restaurants are run by people who are found in the Epstein files. Noah Tepperberg, CEO of Tao Group, allegedly, in my opinion, I'm banned from Tao Group all over the country. Can't eat at the restaurant, can't dine at clubs. I can't dine at restaurants, can't go to the club. So I'm treated like a criminal here. I'm the one banned off of most social media platforms. I've just rightfully been reinstated on YouTube, but still banned on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, all this. Right? I am treated like a criminal in my own country without ever committing a crime. So what's really going on? Why are people in the Epstein files not convicted yet?
You see, in Sneako's mind, he's being treated like a criminal without a conviction. And you can kind of see why he would frame it that way. Travel...
Criminal is crazy. If they thought you were a criminal, you would be behind bars, buddy. Nobody's arresting you. They're treating you like you ain't shit because of how you're conducting yourself on the internet. And people usually shun influencers and public figures who speak the way that you speak. What are you surprised about? How do you say all this reckless shit and you're surprised when you have, certain people or establishments or even whole countries or continents who are like, nah, we're good on you because you're a gross person. If they do it to Kanye, you think it can't be done to you? So what are you confused by?
issue.
You're acting like a criminal. You're acting like a domestic terrorist. So people don't want to fuck with that. So you're trying to use the American card. I'm an American, and yeah, but you saying some wild shit. So people are watching. You're a pretty popular streamer. So yeah, you're gonna face consequences. What's so confusing about this for some of these streamers? I don't get it.
Use platform bans and being rejected from just everyday places and spaces, stores, restaurants, etc., are serious consequences. Ones that honestly I would probably say are more extreme than even like somebody who is a felon, because felons can eat at Applebee's, but it seems as though Sneako is having a hard time booking a reservation. But you see, this is where he keeps missing out on the larger point here. Now, granted, I do agree with him that those that have done super duper heinous crimes, like the people that appear on the Epstein files, shouldn't be out in public. The stuff that they did is heinous and crazy. But what he has to understand is these people aren't making criminal judgment, they're making a risk judgment. They're not saying, was Sneako convicted of this? They're saying, is Sneako worth the backlash? Think about this. If you were a small business, whether you sold clothes, whether you were a restaurant, whether, you made artwork for somebody, there would be certain celebrities that you would be proud, and I do mean proud, to plaster on your social media saying that, hey, this person shopped with me, hey, this person eats here, etc., etc. I can have them in my restaurant, carve out space for them, all these different things. But everybody, and I do mean everybody, has a list of celebrities, personalities, figures online that they would not allow to patronize their establishment. It doesn't matter how much money they bring to it. It doesn't matter how much light they would bring to it. I don't want that type of name attached to my stuff. And this is where
And it's worse for Sneako because he does these IRL streams. So you're showing people that you're at certain establishments. So people can see that like, oh, they allowed you to be there. Oh, I'm not going there because Sneako is there and he's a terrible person. He said this, that. That messes up their business. So they're like, nope.
Whole brand risk thing becomes important, because this is the kind of space where Sneako should be able to say, look, my reputation is exaggerated, right? There are people around me that are 10 times worse than me, and ultimately this is where I fit in. But instead, he keeps giving people a reason to believe that the reputation is current. Every new controversy becomes a piece of new evidence, and then every new clip makes the old version feel like the current version. Have you ever noticed that when Sneako gets into some sort of drama, or any of these controversial content creators get into any sort of drama, their old clips start to populate, they blend together. People can't tell what's old, what's new. I've even had people reference things to me about Sneako that he said, I know, 8, 10, 24 months ago, but they think it was something that he said today. That's why it's harder and harder for people to defend Sneako, because every time he says the consequences are unfair, another clip comes out that reminds people that these consequences should exist.
Is that what
what happened when Andrew Schultz reacted to Sneako and academics' debate.
We pretend that like words don't have meaning, right? Like that they don't hold meaning outside of like the dictionary definition of what they are. Mm-hmm. And like I saw an interesting debate, or at least a clip of the debate, so I'm not giving full context, but it was between Ak and Sneako, and I think Sneako was taking the position of like it's just a word and people should be able to say the word, and then Ak was like, all right, we're going to say something about Allah.
Shout out to Ak, you couldn't come on that.
And it was a great point, because what
I mean, of course, right? Like, of course. I mean, they didn't see it. I didn't even say that. So Ak's like, he's like, oh, words don't have meaning, so say this. It's like, that's not my position. I'm like, you can give these words more weight than they have. The more emotional attachment you allow people to have over you, the more hurtful that word becomes compared to other slurs. Even that word itself, when in hip hop, it's used as the most commonly used word in the entire genre.
And it was a great point, because what he was presenting is like, hey, that word means more to you. Mm-hmm. It's not just a sound. Mm-hmm. It has a meaning, and you will not use it in a negative way, which I think most people understand.
It's a perfect example of a word that's been repurposed to be used in a positive way. Thinking that you should respond with violence, hearing that individual word, just that word itself, it's giving power away, and it's allowing people to be able to control you emotionally.
Schultz gives a basic explanation that, hey, words have meaning because people agree they have meaning. Shocker, news at 10, right? If a community sees a word as degrading, they have the right to reject it. That doesn't mean that every action is justified, but it does mean Sneako cannot pretend that every word is meaningless because he wants people to stop reacting to it. And instead of 10, 20, 30,000 people telling him that he's wrong in this situation.
And people are so quick to say a word is meaningless when it doesn't affect them, when it doesn't target their particular group. Those are the main people saying, oh, yeah, y'all shouldn't be bothered by that word when people call you that, but you're always talking about other people being bothered and how they shouldn't feel this way or that way. Talk about something that pertains to you. Let's hear some slurs that's directed to your community, your religion, etc., and let's see how you feel about it. If you're like, oh, it's just a word, I don't care, call me whatever. Like, disrespect my religion, my race, my people, like my family, disrespect me completely because these are just words and that's fine. That doesn't make any sense. This argument is so stupid that they keep using.
Sneako still stands on the same exact point. So instead of this clip,
as a person, especially as a man, you want to be respected. right? So you're not gonna be just like, it's a word, I'm not giving you power. Okay, you can curse me out and disrespect me to my face. I can be with my wife and kids. You can disrespect them and yell in their face these words. Well, I'm not yelling in their face, because then you can say, well, that's, them invading their space and that's getting too, aggressive. Okay, cool. Don't yell in their face. But let's say he has, or somebody, because he ain't got nobody. Let's say a man has, a wife and kids. He's out with them, and people are calling them slurs, disrespecting the children, his wife, him. Is he going to tell his wife and kids, it's just a word, y'all, it's fine. All smiles, children, and Betty, let's just walk on about our day. No, you're going to be offended. Let's stop playing stupid. You're going to be offended that people are disrespecting you, your children, your wife. Words have meaning, and they do have power, and people feel disrespected. And I'm not saying it justifies them being violent, obviously not, but to make it seem like, oh, it should be meaningless and you shouldn't be, offended or affected by it at all, is just ridiculous. That's intellectually dishonest. Like, you don't feel that way. If you were being disrespected, your close loved ones were being disrespected, you would feel some type of way. So this is so stupid that they keep saying this. I hate these people. This is just all dumb.
Misunderstood. It makes him look like he still doesn't understand why people are mad at him. See, that's the problem. Sneako is claiming that people are unfair.
I don't know if he's playing dumb or really dumb. I don't get it.
Something to make him be judged again. What's that one Kanye West line? I feel the pressure under more scrutiny, but what I do, act more stupidly. He says he's being treated like a criminal, but the issue isn't criminality. The issue is liability. And every time he doubles down on the same extreme, stubborn, against the grain, make it hard to see my side. You have people here gritting and baring their teeth, saying like, gang, I don't know, it's not good to have you around right now. And he's just gonna continue on. Every time he gets a chance to prove that he's not the same guy, he proves that he's the same guy. Brand risk, though, has to be the most damning. Look, Australia bans you, you blame them. Twitch bans you, you say that they're being too PC, they're being too woke, you blame the system. The mainstream UFC bans you, you say,
the
hey,
continent or just the country?
They're being too pussified.
Because they said Australia, and usually they call that Oceania.
On their platform outside of allegedly Chud the Builder, because Aiden Ross said he would not have him on there.
Aiden, bail out Chud the Builder and have him fight.
Fuck no. I'm not bailing him out. That was not real. I would never bail him out. Fuck no. Absolutely not.
No, absolutely terrible guy.
That's the extreme that they would go to. But they would have just about anybody on their platform, and they won't even.
Oh, they're not playing with him.
Mind you, you're supposedly supposed to be a friend. They're not banning Sneako because they're afraid of the controversy. They're banning Sneako because of the liability that he can bring to the platform. I'm not saying that Sneako has to change his points just to get in with the in crowd. He should probably have some sort of level of understanding, though, that what he's saying is ignorant, stupid, idiotic, and all these other things, to the tune of him being put in the same caliber as Chud the Builder. I don't think that people are really understanding what I'm saying. Aiden Ross said he would not go get Chud the Builder out of jail. That's too much, that's nasty, that's disgusting.
Okay, I was correct. He's banned from the country, not the continent, okay? Because like I said,
that's despicable. He can't
they call
and kudos on Aiden for saying that. He is now saying that Sneako is on the same wavelength as Chud the Builder. Sneako, you gotta look at your...
So he can go to other countries in the continent, not the country. Australia, though. that's what I'm looking at. Mind you, I don't know all the details, but it's literally saying he can't visit the country. So he might be able to visit other places on the continent. But that is crazy that you are getting banned from an entire country. What a loser.
Self right now and say, I gotta do something differently. I am getting in the same category as Chud the Builder again. That's a nasty ass parallel. Like, Chud gets ridiculed from restaurants, public scrutiny and backlash, all these different things, and Sneako is going to do the same stuff. Oh my god, I never thought I was it. Sneako is Chud the Builder.
These people are clowns. Imagine being a professional clown. Like, what do your parents think? Are you not ashamed? have you self-respect? I don't understand why they keep this up. They have to look in the mirror at the end of the day like, is this what I turned out to be? Will my kids be proud of the man that I am? Like, I don't think they can honestly answer that. So it's just unfortunate that this is how they choose to represent themselves on the internet. But hey, it is what it is. They're going to continue to face consequences, and I'm here to just watch the nonsense. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.